Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of my life. I was sitting working, and I just thought that I would take out some time in my lunch um, to record today. Something's been heavy on my mind for the past couple of months now. In the beginning of the year, I got this voice note from a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, a soul sister who I love dearly. And I want to play this voice note for you guys in hopes that it will spark some thought. And I know that we are already 3 months into the year, but it's never too late to stop and think about things, to start fresh. New beginnings don't have to happen at certain times of the year, it can happen daily, hourly, monthly. And you can start over as many times as you want to as well, you know. So I'm going to play the voice note for you guys now and speak on it afterwards.
So, been having some thoughts about some stuff. So, I thought that I should share it with you because I know that you appreciate this type of thinking, I think. But yeah, so, with it being new year, new me, all that shit, everybody's asking about, like, well, what's your goals? What's your plans for 2023 and stuff? And I've been struggling to answer the question because I feel like in the last 3 years, keeping my humans alive and coming out of the thickness and the heaviness of the dependency of motherhood feels like it's been quite an achievement on a daily basis. And the fact that I've been able to do it with relatively decent mental health and coming out of it relatively unscathed, despite the many challenges that I faced, is an achievement that I feel should cover me for the next 10 years. But okay, cool. Julle wil mos nou weet what is my resolutions or my plans or my goals for 2023. And I couldn't really answer the question when people were asking me, and I was getting the question quite often. So I don't know why, but I spent some time thinking about that yesterday and today. And I think it's because I don't think that I have any goals and plans for 2023. I feel like a better approach and maybe a harder answer to question, a harder question to answer about 2023 for me, and this is the part I think you're going to like, is what am I going to do differently in 2023? So don't ask me what my goal for 2023 is, but ask me rather what am I going to do differently for 2023? And I think it's a lot harder to answer that question and to come up with those things that you feel needs to be changed about you or your circumstances, or just like literally what are you going to do differently in 2023? And also like people have this thing with this long list of goals and dreams and hopes for 2023. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't have those things, but I'm just saying I feel like it's a deeper question to ask somebody is what do you plan to do differently? It's more thought provoking. It requires a little bit more introspection and a little bit more self awareness. So that's my question to you. And you don't have to answer me, answer yourself. What you can do differently in 2023.
So, after that voice note, after I listened to the voice note, I sat and I thought, and the first word that popped up in my head was grace. And then I thought to myself, grace. I've been hearing that word a lot. What does grace mean? What does grace mean to me? And why grace? Why grace? And then I sat and I thought about my life over the past 2 years, and I thought about my relationships over the past 2 years, my relationships with people, family, friends, and my relationship with myself. And the relationship with myself stood out the most. I kept thinking about the relationship I had with myself and what kind of relationship do I have with myself. In that moment in time, I was thinking about self love, obviously. What is self love? How do I want to show myself love? And I thought, okay, routine, discipline, check. Doing the things that I love the most, check. Investing in myself, check. Good energy, positive energy, check. Sticking to my rituals and my routines, check. Grace. Okay. Something's missing there by grace. And I asked myself, in the last year, did I show myself enough grace? No, I didn't. Did I show others enough grace? 50-50. I chose who I wanted to extend grace to, the act of grace. But me, no, not so much. I remember in the last year that when I would make mistakes, when I wouldn't get something right, when I hurt myself, when I wasn't as disciplined as I wanted to be, when I didn't manage my time better, when I didn't finish my to-do list, when I didn't check on that friend that I was supposed to check on, when I didn't do what I said I was going to do, when I didn't spend enough time with my family, I beat myself up for it a lot. When that relationship didn't work out, when the goal that you thought you achieved got taken away from you, I didn't show myself enough grace in those moments. And I'm getting a bit emotional right now. Because number one, I am an emotional person. And number two, I really wish I showed myself more grace. And to me, grace means forgiving myself when things didn't go right. Forgiving myself when I made mistakes. Just like I forgive other people. You see, we are often our biggest enemy because when it comes to us, we beat ourselves down to the core. How are we supposed to excel or win or just do better when we are our biggest enemy? When we beat ourselves down more than anyone else could ever. To me, grace means understanding. And that's a big one. Because we are quick to understand where someone else is coming from. We are quick to understand someone else's perspective, situation. But what about our situation? What if we learn to understand ourselves more every day? To understand our needs every day? Because it changes. Just like everyone around us changes, we change too. Something that I needed yesterday, I might not need today, right? So, what if we learn to understand that concept more? That relationship that I thought I needed yesterday, or last month, or last week, I don't think I need it today. It's no longer serving me. So, I'm not going to beat myself up because it didn't work. I'm going to encourage myself to listen to me more because I know it's good for me and I know what's best for me. And if I don't feel like it's working for me, then I do not need to participate in it. For me, grace means love. What about loving every part of ourselves? Even the parts that we think are unlovable, our insecurities, the things we hate the most about ourselves. What if we made it our mission to love those parts of ourselves the most? That's what grace means. It means looking at yourself in the mirror, looking at all the unlovable parts of your body, of yourself, even if you think it's your mind, your eyes, your tummy, your butt, and pouring into those parts. It means taking that oil after a nice warm shower, taking that oil and rubbing it down rubbing out your body and telling yourself, I love you. And I know I struggle to love you, but I'm willing to work on this. I'm willing to love you more. I'm willing to learn to understand you better so that I can love you more. What if we did that? To me, grace means patience. That thing that you want the most, but you just can't get it right now because you are not in the right space, you are not in the right timing. So you have to wait it out and you have to continuously work towards it because the universe knows exactly when to give you that one thing that you want the most. And all you need to do is be patient. What if you were more patient with yourself in the way that you are patient with the many other things in your life? That plant that's growing. You water it every day, but it just won't grow. And then that one day comes where suddenly it starts to bloom. What if we were more patient with ourselves in that way? And I'm thinking about this chili tree that we have at home at my parents' place. It's crazy because I don't think that chili tree gave us chilies for 2 years. My mom loves that chili tree so much. It's crazy because the other day she posted a picture of it and finally there are some chilies. But the way that she waited, the patience she gave it, she didn't give up on that chili tree. She didn't throw it away because it wasn't bearing any fruit. She waited and she kept watering it and she had that faith in it and that patience and that care and that love for it. Because somehow she knew that one day it was going to bear fruit. And when it does, it's going to come at the right time. So I started practicing this year. I started practicing grace in many forms. I started practicing looking at myself in the mirror and telling myself, I love you. I started journaling more. I started having conversations with myself in the same way that we will have conversations with our friends, our partners, our family. After something goes bad, you know that family meeting that we have, right? I started having that same meeting with myself. And so much unraveled, so much came from that conversations that I've started to have with myself because I started to understand me better. And you'd be amazed by how everything just flows after that because once you understand something, you can begin to love it in all aspects, in all situations, in all seasons. Once you love something to that extent, you can forgive easily because you know that in life, things happen and we can't always predict adversity. We can't always predict when things go wrong. We can't always predict that this one thing that you thought was going to be your breakthrough, you got there and it didn't work out. We can't predict that. Now, what we need to do is be kinder to ourselves, be patient, more loving, gentle in the times where we just want to beat ourselves down because nothing is working out, because I can't get this one thing right, because I feel stupid today. No, I'm not stupid, I'm learning. Change the way that you speak to yourself. Tell yourself that you are lovable and deserving of love. Tell yourself that you are deserving of grace and then give it to yourself. It's the first step in your journey that you need to take to become the person that you want to be in this life. Show yourself that same grace that you show others. Thank you. I think this episode was a good one. And there's still a lot that I need to learn on this journey, and I just want to speak about it every time I come to a realization, every time I have a thought or a feeling to speak. I want to speak about it because I know that I'm not alone and we need each other. So go in peace, go in love, And I hope that today you show yourself some more grace than you did yesterday. Have a good day further. Thank you for watching.